Education, Laurie Kilmartin.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Laurie. How
Hi.
are you? My name is Jackie.
I know your name.
True.
I'm very aware. I've said it a lot. I'm called it a lot.
Is it Tony who does the word breakdown?
What? Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I'm called Laurie a fair amount. It is.
You are really?
Yeah.
Isn't it weird at this late age to have this happening? Usually that's early in your career.
Right.
But we're melding into one cranky lady.
I'm used to it from when I was a kid, being called every kid but me. Like, essentially Nancy would yell at us and she'd be like, Russ, Darla, Jackie, shut up.
Well, it was Dustin Ibarra who was like, yeah, you're one of the old hippie comedy chicks. I was like, what the fuck?
Whoa.
You are too. We are. We're turning into one person to a lot of people in the comedy community. I think
that I don't know, that just, if that means we only each get 20 weeks each, I'm going to be really mad. So
yeah. Well, we'll see.
So, yeah, that's not right. So I have sets. We're doing this Friday night.
Right.
Because I have sets and I have Christmas stuff and I want to organize and I want to lie down in the middle of it all.
Mm-hmm.
So I have plans. So thank you for doing this on a Friday night. I'm doing Nowhere tomorrow with Don McMillan.
Fun.
It'll all be over by Monday, but on Sunday I'm doing my Sunday services. I'm doing it at 11 a.m. Because some European fans want to come, and then cool. I'm doing 5 p.m. for Dan Telfer.
Oh, cool, nice.
Yeah.
I did my first Patreon show tonight. I posted it in Patreon. I just want to do like 10 minutes on Friday. If anyone wants to come. I mean, I was hoping one person would come. So like 13 people came. And it was a 10-minute, top to bottom 10 minutes, and I might have been 5 of the thing I was working on, and then just a little chatter because I felt like an asshole just going, okay, thanks guys, bye. But I was really nervous, like way more nervous than I've ever been for a show on Zoom in a long time, just because
it was yours and you wanted it to be
and I had to greet everyone and then end it, like it's, hosting duties and all that stuff. So again, I've always admired what you keep doing every Sunday, and I admire it a little bit more.
Tell me again.
I love what you do, Laurie. You do a great job. If only Jackie had your moxie.
I was talking to Maria tonight because Maria dashed off to do the car thing with Tammy Joe's Magic.
Oh yeah, Magic Gospel.
And she had to follow Eliza Schlesinger and Brad Williams, who had both done it more.
Right. And I think Eliza's doing outdoor tour, like she's touring in that sort of venue, so it's her thing.
Is she? Because I saw that Nikki Glazer was doing that, and I would hate to. I mean, they're not.
More than one person can do it, but Eliza did had a whole tour. I think Nikki did as well, but maybe it was outdoor stuff in September-ish, and then again, Eliza's might have been concurrent, when the weather was warmer. But she was doing a ton. She had a tour already. Strung together of driving shows. I
think you were following Eliza's career in September, and I was following Glazer's. As we
both have our obsessions, Jackie.
And so I'm jealous of both of them. That they have gotten to do
I want what you have. I don't want what I have. Yes. It's the constant comedy refrain.
Write the musical. I have to say that I did talk to Maria, and Maria was talking about how much she loves a one-on-one Zoom. She
That is
said, I can do it
100%.
anytime. I can just
Yeah.
say to somebody, does anyone want to listen to me talk for 45 to an hour?
I see your post those all the time.
And people do.
That's
So it's done.
that's tough, I think. But you know what? Maybe you get used to it and then it's not tough.
Yeah, I've been mailing off masks like a crazy person because every time I post on the thing saying, make sure you got your mask, you're on this list. And then more people go, oh, I didn't see that you could get a mask. And so
All right.
Patreon mask thing is a real doer.
Good. Yeah, the way the rates are in LA, we'll all be wearing masks for quite a while. You know, it's going to take a long time for the vaccines to kick in a real rate here.
Yeah, we're number one, I guess, huh?
1 in 20 have had it here, and maybe it's the last I read, and I'm sure it's different because every day is like 6,000 new cases or something. But like 1 in 80 currently could expose you to it, you know?
Wow.
So,
Wow.
yeah.
I went and I got a curbside Bostroma burrito today.
What's that?
It's an army. It's essentially, you know how like everybody has taken what the Mexicans have done and said, we're going to fuse it. We're going to make a fusion. And so there's an Armenian Mexican fusion burrito taco place.
I feel uncomfortable saying the Mexicans
It's Mexican food, isn't it? Tacos and burritos.
Yeah, so they started the fusion craze in LA. I don't know LA's food history and I don't care. So you don't have to go too far into it. But.
No, I believe that what I'm saying is other cultures, like, you know how like in America, everybody takes everybody's food and then makes it into something interesting. And then, so what has happened with the burrito and like, there's Korean tacos too. There's a truck with Korean tacos. Mm-hmm. So this is an Armenian taco and burrito place. And so they use sausages and meats that are cured in Armenian spices. And I went and got a burrito this morning, curbside. And all I could think was, he touched it. And and then I got over it. Because it's all outside anyway. And it's so delicious. So
it does make you forget COVID. Like when I went to pick up donuts really late at night, you know, and at this late night donut place, and the guy's mask was down by his nose, and I was like, oh, and I was like, you know, it's just him back here fucking frying donut dough. You know, I'm sure it's okay.
and I want these donuts. So, yeah. I agree.
Listen, you'll expand your bubble if you want donuts.
Did you get anything from Max Fun?
I did. I got candy.
I got that. It's this marshmallow with caramel wrapped around it candy. Did you get that?
I haven't opened it yet. But
I'm so sorry for the ruining of that. That's
boo.
But I don't really like marshmallows very much because I'm a monster.
My son loves marshmallows. Eats them plain. It's really disgusting to me. It's like eating a pillow.
Yeah, it's eating a sugar pillow, just one sugar pillow after another. And so,
Jackie, I think we're in agreement, as we were talking before we started taping, is comedians should only do comedy. Right?
We are not in agreement, but Kyle agrees with you.
Yeah.
But I know what you're saying, because you were saying that somebody, some comic who
I don't want
a tinfoil hat factory.
I don't want his ire. I don't, you know,
I don't want to talk about him. He's a piece of work. I don't give a shit.
He is a piece of work, but I mean, there's things he's done. I'll just say his name.
Are you going to say his name?
Jimmy Dore, I've been on his old podcast. I love him. I recognize him.
I've never been on his old podcast, and I've known him since what, 95 or 96?
He probably thought I was you. No, but I mean, in terms of like, it's someone from our era, so you know the person, you know, even if you like, I didn't start out in Chicago. but I just feel a connection with anyone who started around the same time with me, right? You feel like that, right? With anyone, right? Whether they go off in weird directions,
No, well, here's the thing is all the comics I started out with in Madison, literally they were like, we're all moving to Chicago. And I said, and I'm moving to Minneapolis. Have a good time.
I mean, no matter what city they're from. I mean, when you eventually meet them, you're like, oh, even though you're from a different city, we speak the same lingo language. We did not have social media. We had to read the Just for Laughs newspaper that came out once a month from John Fox to find out what other comics were doing. So we're all that, okay?
I was on that alt.dot. Were you on the alt.dot board?
Yes, I was, yeah.
There you go.
I was watching. I was more of a watcher.
But
here's my point.
I was such a nerd, yeah.
So, and Jimmy Dore did this great on his regular podcast where he played J-Lo's White House Correspondents' Dinner performance, and joke by joke, he shredded it, and it was all deserved, And but that same sort of dogged personality, when pivots in politics can get, it's good for comedy, but it might not be good for the intricacies of Congress and all that stuff.
So you're right. So comics should only do comedy, and he doesn't do comedy anymore. He doesn't do stand-up anymore.
But I think like I've jokingly said, we should all become conservatives because we're really good at manipulating people. That's what comics are really good at, and that's fine to do it in stand-up because it doesn't matter. It's just a show. Everyone's on board with the show. But when you start meddling in real things, and your top skill is how to push buttons and get emotions going, that might not be great all the time. And so when I was watching Sam Cedar from the Majority Report tonight kind of discuss Jimmy Dore's comments about AOC, I was like,
he was dissecting Jimmy Dore's set, which is essentially what Jimmy is doing. Yeah.
But without that like crazy anger, and it was like, this is a guy who's a radio guy, and he's been doing this for a long time, and he's just smart. He's not a stand-up.
He's a professional guy of like when Jimmy.
Whatever that job is.
Hang on a second. Yeah. Hang on. But what Jimmy did with the J-Lo thing is what Sater's doing with Jimmy's thing, because Jimmy is trying to do Sater's job, and he can't do Sater's job. He doesn't have the chops. And
he has a different set of chops, but I think in the long run they're more harmful to whatever the cause you're
well, especially if you're just playing for cash, right? If you're playing for cash and prizes, and like I could have been the greatest salesperson in the world.
Yes,
allow me to just say that out loud. No, but I could have been a very good salesperson. And I still could be if I can't get any work. But I think that all of the reason I didn't do any sales, I knew comics who would also, their day jobs were sales, and it bleeds off all of your creative energy.
Right.
And it just makes you mad because you're not doing stand-up, in my opinion, or for me, right? I would use all of my creative energy to sell timeshares or tires or whatever the fuck I was selling. And then I would be mad that I would be tired when it would be time to do stand-up, and I would have to use those same skills to work on a bit. And
your brain needs to rest.
Yeah.
If possible, if you can find a job where your brain can rest during the job.
All of my day jobs, I was enormously replaceable. So are you kidding me? When I worked it had to be off and on for 5 years in the closed captioning industry. And I didn't caption. Kyle Kinane and Matt Bronger were both captioners.
Oh.
And
that's right,
and Jim Hamilton too. And that's energy. That's it's a different kind of energy. I would have done that job except for two problems. One, my grammar skills, not great. Second thing, you can't go on the road at all. because you're in charge of certain shows.
Right.
But if you are a monkey who's answering the telephone, you can be replaced for 6 weeks at a crack by someone from the temp agency.
Sure.
So, so that's what I always. So I'm glad that someone who has had that job longer than Jimmy has had that job addressed.
Right. Yeah, he did it. Yeah, he did a good job. Without also getting as angry. It's just like
No,
totally like.
The anger's a technique as well.
It is a technique. And when you're doing stand-up, you got to reserve it. You can't actually get angry because you'll lose control of yourself and you lose control of the audience. So when you are angry, it's fake. It's an act unless you've lost your mind.
Yes.
So it's still performance,
It's still performance. And so, like, for example, he's not angry. He's working the room. That's what he's doing.
Yes.
It's and it's not that he and his politics are fine, right? But his attitude has never been good, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, I've known him as that guy, for 30 years. And he's that guy. He's that guy that works the room and uses all the tools that he has to get what he wants. And he has always been that guy. And it doesn't mean that his stand-up wasn't funny, because it was all right. I liked it.
Very good. Yeah.
I don't know what I don't believe he listens to this, but if he does, hopefully he's he's not going to send the Russians on us.
Yeah, the response is over the top to any criticism,
Mm-hmm.
It's quote tweets and so fuck you and it's like, oh my God, so
but
exhausting.
It's just creating clicks.
Yeah.
Selling bullshit.
Yeah, it's in that on that level, I'm like, okay, good for you. Good. I'm glad
you're fine for him if that were the job, because that's the job in stand-up. The job is to sell clicks.
It is.
It's not if you're not trying to, start guerrilla warfare. It's less positive.
What Peter was saying is it's actually harming the ability to get Medicare for all. So it's on the game as a fellow performer, I'm like, yeah, go for it. But when you look at maybe the actual goal, is it going to work? Maybe it won't. I don't know. You shouldn't listen to me. Honestly, I'm an observer here. All I really know anything about is stand-up. So I could be wrong about his influence on the push for Medicare for all as well.
No, all you're doing is quoting the Seder guy.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
I picked my guy. I picked Seder over Door. But man, he was trending, and that's
that's money. That's money, and that's all that he's looking for. He has medical problems. He's got to buy a lot of medical marijuana, and he has back issues. So I understand where he's coming from. I want all of us to use our powers for good. I don't always do it either, but I also don't have a million people that are willing to punch somebody in the face for me,
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm exhausted by bitches, man. I'm exhausted by, she's great. Oh, she has other opinions. She's trying to figure out how to do the job. Oh, what a cunt. Yeah, let's fucking jam a baseball bat up her hooch. And I'm like,
wow, you got some terrible trolls, Jackie.
Well, I mean, I don't get a lot of trolls, but the trolls I do get, what happens is nothing. And then someone jumps the fucking shark and wants to, disembowel me. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, well, allow me to block you. Allow me to help you away from me. This seems negative. And that's where I leave it.
Somebody took a tweet very literally of mine, and he kept responding, and I'm like, what, stop it. And then I blocked him. I couldn't. He was drawing in other people, and I'm like, I don't want to be part of this anymore. This tweet was for comics, okay?
Right. I was told that Twitter was going to be like a big text chain. That's what I was told. My friend Kelly moved to Philadelphia, and she said, me, Allison, Nicole, we're all going to be able to just text each other and we'll all see it, as opposed to a group text thread, which I guess wasn't available in 2006. I don't know what was happening, but I do know that I had a burner phone in 2006 because I didn't get a smartphone until
yeah, I had a Nokia when I started at Conan. I had a little Nokia. I held that for a long time. I didn't want to be hunched over my phone. I was so proudly like had nothing to look at. And then I joined everyone.
Yep. I mean, you stick to your guns until you're done. That's what I say.
Yeah, till you're out of bullets.
Here's what I want. I want Microsoft Edge to fuck off.
I don't know what that is.
Computer. I don't know why. It's all over my computer like it cares.
Trying to consolidate like hard drives. I have multiple copies of everything everywhere, but they have different names. It's like I've just left myself an impossible mountain to climb. You know,
standardization problems. It's bad. And because every, I've mentioned this before, is that every 4 or 5 weeks, all of my tweets go away and I have to rebuild the pinned tweet, which with my unlisted Horcrux special that's on YouTube. And then I post all the clips from various different sets around that are captioned as just sort of a watch this 30 seconds or this minute, as something to brighten just content. And I can't figure out, like I tried to post something and it's the wrong format. And I was like, well, why do I even have this format? How is an MP4 not working on Instagram? But it's captioned and it's formatted for Instagram because it has the long.
Right.
Because of the size of the picture, and I've been trying to do clips of these. I've been meaning to talk to Jed, who was running our Instagram and did such a nice job. And I figured out a little bit. I've been able to couple clips.
Yeah, they're good. I like them.
You like them, but he did a really nice job. He did a better job.
Yeah, he did every word.
He did every word, and he
also did a lot of work though.
Yeah, he also did like 10-second clips, and it was when somebody's face was frozen and there was a banner. It had all kinds of, I'm in like a tech hell watching YouTube videos, how to do Premiere Rush, how to do Vidget, how to do what, there's 1,000 different cropping.
It's exhausting.
Anyway. So
I'm trying to load. Like I have so many gigabytes of movies on this hard drive, and I only have 2 terabytes of hard drive, and which got gobbled up. Remember? And so now I'm trying to put them on Vimeo and hold them there. But then I'm like, oh no, what if Vimeo crashes? So then I put it on a backup hard drive, and I'm like, oh, what if that gets corrupted? So then I put it on another thing. I can't be safe with just one backup. I'm so afraid.
Well, you're probably right. And I will say that the Vimeo backup, the Vimeo fear is real. Because remember, I lost all that MySpace stuff. And it was the place where I was hiding all those videos.
Right.
And
I'm sure Vimeo would weigh in and say, well, we're absolutely not MySpace. Because they actually are a video storage company versus MySpace, which was
they could turn into MySpace in a heartbeat. And MySpace is actually still viable if you are in a small, pointless band. If you are in a small band, that's where you're still doing your
I feel like we're becoming a small, pointless band.
Pardon me while I write down the word small, pointless band. Where are we at for?
I love when we find an episode title at 24 minutes in.
Thank you. I love that we know that we're at 24 minutes.
So I started a hiatus yesterday, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. So now it's just unstructured time. It's hard. I don't know. I mean, you've found a way to really, you have a very structured day, but you could completely stay in bed if you wanted to.
Yeah, I could. It would be frowned on by my mirror. And like what I do is there has to be, especially in the stupid never-ending story of COVID.
Right.
I get up, I make my bed, and around 4 o'clock I go for a walk because it gets dark at 5.
Yeah.
And in between making my bed and 4 o'clock, I try to find new clips to get captioned. I ignore the 3 dork forests that can be edited and put in the can. I'm not booking any more. I have a list like this long of people who want to be on the dork forest, but I want to get those 3. If I can get the next 3 weeks in the can, then I'm open to recording more, which is why I don't want to get them in the can, because I don't want to record anymore right now, because I'm already in the middle of January.
I floated the idea to my son, and he wasn't. Here's the thing: I don't feel like he's human right now.
He's in between humanity for sure.
I would just put him. I would back burner him for 5 years personally as a human being. He just wants to be online with his friends, and that's it. And
and that's all I want to do. So, did you ask him about anime or something? The Dork Forest anime?
Yeah, didn't you mention, he could tell you about his favorite anime?
Yeah, if he wanted to. But the thing is I've had a couple of teenagers and sort of kids on before, and there's only a couple of them. They're super nervous, even though they were all born with a camera in their faces. Right. You would think every kid would be plug and play, is what you would think.
Yeah.
But like I did a 15-minute one with like a 7 or 8-year-old kid about Minecraft once. And it was great, but he only lasted 15 minutes because he's little.
Yeah.
And then it's just the same stories over and over again, which, there's something in Jen Welch also talking to me about Animal Crossing. She's a New York comic.
Yeah.
She talked about Animal Crossing this week for 1 hour, and she said that she listened to it again, and she said, I can't believe that you just sat there while I described my island in excruciating detail. And I was like, no, that's the premise of the show. You describe the thing you love in excruciating detail. People have tuned into yours, you and Kathleen Madigan talking about the Kennedys, and me going, so which Kennedys? And then the rabbit hole of not John JFK at all.
Yeah, Kennedy just lost to Ed Markey. They tried to primary him, basically.
Yeah, and Ed Markey has been he's been doing his job, and he's been doing it well, because I looked into that.
Yeah, and then that Kennedy seat went to a Republican. It was really stupid.
Yeah, it was enormously dumb. And you're like,
Jimmy Dore's pissed.
There's so much ego. Was there a whole episode?
No, I imagine.
Oh, I know.
The pandemic is making comics crazy, I mean, it's making everybody crazy, but it's, if everyone's turning to their podcast, you just got to keep talking till you get more Patreon money or whatever. It's unhealthy.
I'll tell you, the Dork Forest is a little bit of it's just the fact that it isn't political and it isn't anything, quite honestly. It's just a delight. It's just someone fucking around telling me about their string collection, or they got rubber bands and there's different sizes and A4 paper versus 8.5 by 11. You're like, do it. Tell me what do you love about it? And and it's not, and it's, I genuinely love it, because it's kind of soothing. And so is the rocking. You rocking back and forth is kind of soothing. Nice.
That's how I stand now. I know this person has COVID. I put it in the chat.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Bad?
Don't know yet. In bed.
Okay, in bed.
Sicker,
not
sicker
at
than
home.
they've ever been. It's
Yeah.
it's not a comic, but it's like
Comic adjacent.
Hmm?
Comic adjacent.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's interesting. Yeah, everyone the current 2 people I know that
Mhm.
have it had it in bed. Worst sickness they've ever, like, not like a week of, you get the flu. It's a bad flu. You're achy and horrible for 7 to 10. This is 12 days of Jesus Christ. I feel like I'm going to die, and then you don't die, and then you're kind of better.
Right. I mean, it's weird because then you have someone like Devin Nunes who was asymptomatic and went to go get blood and discovered he had antibodies. Some people don't even know they have it,
Yeah. Yeah. This is testing my faith. The fact that Devin Nunes has antibodies.
It's
And
confirming my non-faith.
Yeah. I don't approve. Don't approve at all. Let's take a break.
Okay.
And we could also do a couple other things. Let's do Comic of the Week, which
Yeah.
I worked with on a Zoom show, and she was hilarious. And so I was psyched to say, hey, I want to send a clip and to, Lori and Kyle and everybody and their grandmother. But yeah, you should go and find Jackie Turgison. Jackie is spelled Jaci, and Turgison is Jerson. But her handle is what, Kyle?
It's Jackie Turge Comedy. So it's JACITERJ Comedy.
And that's her Instagram.
And that's her
right?
Instagram, yes.
Okay. Yeah, she had a really fun, she has kids, she has like 2 kids.
Yeah.
And she was comparing her body to it was a great Denny's joke, is what I'm saying.
That's cool.
Really funny Denny's joke that I enjoyed.
That's great. I'm always excited when there's a new Jackie on the scene.
Right.
You need to be taken down a peg, lady.
Exactly. And she got to spell her name right. She got to spell her name with something fun, JACI.
Yeah.
I was not allowed as a child. But she stuck to her guns. And her last name, Turgison, what a great last name. I mean, I'm sure it's
Armenian. I thought it was Armenian.
No, Turgison? It's SON, son of Turd.
Yeah, no. When she spelled it, I was like, oh, all right. She's not one of them.
It's I was talking to I was emailing with the woman who runs the Sirius XM She's So Funny, just on the internet. You know how they tried to do a channel on XM Sirius,
Yeah.
a women in comedy channel? Well, it only lasted a month, and then it went to the internet. So they play a lot of they play a lot of women comics, but the money isn't there. The sound exchange money is a lot less.
Right.
Yeah. That sort of pause and great. Anyway, but she's very nice, and she tries to.
Or is that channel name doesn't
Fun?
make you want to listen? But then I don't know. Maybe the average driver is different, right? If you're driving and you get to She's So Funny, does that make you want to listen?
Maybe.
I don't.
I wish a lot of things. I wish that there wasn't any sexism, Lori. This is one of the things I wish.
I know. It's incredibly tiring.
It's exhausting. I'm sure there are people, I'm included, tangentially, wishing there weren't any racism.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of things happening. But yeah, it's a drag. Okay, we should also do an ad. Can we do an ad right now?
I think that's a great
Yeah.
idea.
Because it's for Green Chef again, and I wanna find the copy because I can gush about it personally, but I also want to do because Green Chef, they deliver all the food to your house, right? And then you make it there, and it's all fresh, and it's all nicely packaged, not too much packaging, just enough packaging so that it's not so that it doesn't get spoiled, but it's not weirdly, like you're not recycling the entire world here. So
Right.
Green Chef, by the way, is the first USDA certified organic meal kit company. And it's the #1 meal kit for eating well. Green Chef makes eating well easy and affordable with plans to fit every lifestyle. I made one of my favorite ones is because you can pick things, right? You can pick vegan, you can pick paleo, you can pick whatever. I
Yeah.
made this one, which is a Thai pork salad.
Oh my God, look at my menu. I
Ah.
also like Thai food.
Oh my God, you had the Thai pork salad too. Did you get this one, the chicken and butternut squash?
I did. Yeah. That was good. I really like that one.
That was great. That one,
Yeah.
and it all came. The ingredients are pre-measured and perfectly proportioned and mostly prepped, and you can spend less time stressing and more time enjoying delicious home cooked meals. And they give you ideas of what you can do when you don't have Green Chef in front of you. Like you could then look in your fridge and go, "Oh, I remember the Green Chef had me do this other thing." So
That's been really helpful too. I made chicken breasts independently of Green Chef, and the experience of doing that chicken one you just held up helped me cook my own by myself.
well, that's it,
Exciting.
right? So it doesn't matter if you've been cooking for decades. It just helps. It makes it a lot easier. Or if you're new to cooking, or need to be reminded of how to, where everything goes. Jesus. Anyway, but so you could be keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, or just looking to eat healthier. And there's a range of recipes to suit. You could pick your diet and preference. What do
you do with your ice packs?
I use them to bring stuff up to my mother-in-law.
Oh, because you can empty them out. There's like this icy. It's not just pure ice, it's an icy goo, but you can put it down the garbage disposal. But I've just been saving them in this old freezer, like a chest freezer that I have in the backyard that I got for a long time ago in an apartment. And I'm ready in case the power goes out to fucking freeze things because I got my freezer packs.
Freezer packs. So
freezer. Yeah.
We have a freezer full of freezer packs, and then we're bringing them. We used to use them for shuttling back and forth to my mother-in-law. So, but if you guys want to get a deal, you go to greenchef.com/Jackie Laurie 90. And because you use the code Jackie Laurie 90 and you get $90 off, including free shipping. So it's greenchef.com/Jackie Laurie 90, and the code is Jackie Laurie 90 for $90 off. Nice. And super tasty.
That's good ad read.
Yeah.
Done.
Only we're 37 in.
Okay. You got shows this week?
I did Steph Toloff's show tonight, in addition to my little Patreon mic. That was really fun. Yeah, I had some other shows this week that were fun. I'm just kind of working a little bit, little baby steps with certain chunks.
We've on the thread, a bunch of people had like just a shit ton of corporates.
I'm jealous, but I also don't want to take corporates away from anyone. But part of me is like, how come no one's asking me to do a corporate?
I know. I thought of that myself, and then I heard their stories, right?
Yeah.
Of people coming in not muted, going, "Did we hire a clown? Who is this?" And that was the last one I read today.
That was awful.
Oh, it made me laugh so hard because we're doing one on Christmas Day. And
you and I, right?
You and I are doing
for a birthday. It's
a birthday party.
A birthday, yeah.
And that'll be fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just got asked to do one in January. I just booked another week on the road, so I have bookings in February.
Interesting. Where's what's February?
It's I think Helium. It might have been end of January.
I thought you said Helium was January in Portland.
Helium, I think Portland is January, and then Kansas City, I think, is February. And
Missouri in February.
Yeah, and then Robert Jenkins was telling us that Ann Arbor's open.
Yeah, I just lost that gig in November. I guess
Me too.
closed.
Well, they closed for a while, but he also said that Roger Feeney put in a new air filter system.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'll hold off on that. I want a vaccine, and I want the majority of the country to have had a vaccine. And
that is
I want to see your vaccine card at the show. It's you just put it on your table and you face it towards me and let me know that you got the jab, and then we'll have a great time.
Yep.
I'll give you $2 off a copy of Shitty Ma after the show.
Wow, that sounds like a change nightmare.
It does.
So I just got.
I charged $22 for it, Jackie. So I'm sorry. What?
I literally, while you were telling that story, checked my text messages. What?
Yeah. I know. I believe me. I was talking to our audience, not you.
Yeah, that's right. So I got a very dark joke texted to me from a comic who's saying, I feel like a lot of comics must be getting jealous of these ICU numbers, just constantly having sold out shows. And then he wrote, late night humor, hope I didn't wake you. And by the way, that came from the nicest guy in the world.
Type the name.
Okay, the nicest, he's such a nice guy.
Aww.
And there's no reason why
Whoa.
That seems super dark.
Good jokes. Come on. Yeah.
Oh, he writes amazing jokes.
Yeah.
But and you know what? They are kind of dark. He does that one. It's Tommy Ryman. I'm just gonna say it. Let's have a show where we go
on machinations, and then you fold it in the box immediately when one homicide cop walked in.
You did it with Jimmy in the beginning. I was like, this is gonna be the whole episode where we're like, we're not saying the name, and the name is Larry David. And the password. So no, he had that great joke about, I think it's on his special and on his dry bar special and on his last album. Tommy Ryman had this one of my favorite jokes of his, and he's got a lot of great jokes, a lot of dog jokes and family jokes and stuff. But he had a joke about when he worked at Barnes and Noble, and somebody wanted, he had a hard time using the credit card machine, and the customer said to him, I can't wait until we have chips in our thumbs and I can just put my thumb down and you could just get it out of my bank. And he said, and all he could think was, yeah, but that's not going to be, I'm going to ruin this joke, but you're not going to be the person with a bag full of thumbs that some guy brought in where you're like, sir, is this your thumb as well? Because it didn't work. And
I think I see what that joke is. And
yeah, you should hear him do it, you guys.
I see what you did to it.
Oh my God, I killed it. I took it and I stabbed it, and it's hard. It's such a great joke. Tommy Ryman, you guys find him. He's a good egg. So I did a comedy Zoom impromptu, and then I got to see Augie Smith's new baby. He now has 3 kids, young Timothy.
Terrifying.
It's a lot of kids.
It's funny because he had a family very late in life, and he's a comic. That's terrifying. Ted Alexandro's wife is having a second baby. They just had a baby, so it's almost Irish twins level of closeness. But that's pretty bold and scary to me to be going all in on a family when you're a performer during a pandemic.
Right. Maybe it was just an accident. They kept having sex and
with Augie.
But the thing is there was no other joke there.
Oh. I thought he really did tell you it was an accident, and then.
Oh no!
Okay. You were just speculating.
I was thinking of Ted because I easily could have answered it with Ted, and then I would have been the dick. But because there's.
Wait, how did I get roped into being the dick here? I thought you legitimately were telling me that Augie said it was an accident and he just kept having sex.
Well, that would have been weird since we had moved on to talking about Ted's second child.
Can you read this back to me, Kyle?
Only so,
Read this back.
Laura, you and I are back in one area, and Jackie did not tell us that she moved into another wing of the house.
Oh, well, yeah, I would like to have the transcript read aloud. For the record, you're not alone. You're not following me, because the thing is here's why I practice jokes, because in conversation, this is what happens. It turns out when I've written a joke and then I work on it for 6 months, it's super tight. It's right there.
And the skill is that you make it sound conversational. That's the skill of being a comedian.
Yes.
Yeah.
And by gum, I can do it. I've been thinking about actually hunkering down. I mean, I talk about this every 3 or 4 weeks, but I've been thinking about using this time. And when I say this time, I mean my current paralyzing boredom.
Right.
Because I want to work on, I have one possible new bit that I'm going to work on Sunday. That is just, it was in an old part of my notebook. And I was like, I can work on that. And plus I just saw like a food show that kind of reminded me of it. And I was like, wasn't there a bit about poor people inventing food, and because they didn't have a choice from scraps anyway. But I think I want to try to do some more writing. Like 5-6 months ago, I wrote the spec for the comic book. I wrote I did some bullet points for like an essay. So, not an outline, not a full outline. I could work on that. Because who doesn't want a memoir, a pile of essays from Jackie Cation?
Read that.
People would read it. It's it's my perspective.
Being sold. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of comics that have written essay memoirs,
All of them, almost all of them.
Most of them.
I was rereading Meryl Marco's Cool, Calm, and Contagious.
Mhm.
And she had an essay called How to Spot an Asshole.
Mhm.
And it was so fucking funny. It started out with, she was in the shower and she heard a voice, like she must have an answering machine at the time, because someone called and left a very intense, and she was like, oh, maybe there's an emergency. So she comes out and she's listening to it. She's like, who the hell is that? And then she redresses and comes out and listens to it again. And it is an intense message from a guy she met hours earlier at a party, who was like, who doesn't date. He just wants to impromptu, like, just called for like we should get together right now. I don't know what you're doing right now. And it was so incredibly jackassery. And it just led to this really beautiful essay about how you can spot an obvious asshole, and then there's like less and less obvious, but they should be red flags. And so it's a very funny essay about essentially the premise that how to spot an asshole. And it had to be, I don't know, 6,000 words, maybe 3,000, I don't know.
Those are very different numbers, Jackie.
I know, and you know what those look like because you've written 2 books. I don't know what those look like.
I know, yeah, mine are, I specialize in 800-word or less chapters.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to write that down.
That's the mono joke of books is a 500-word chapter.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Oh, that's actually fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, in topic wise, yeah, you can get in and out. You make your points and then get the fuck out and start a new one.
Yeah.
You don't have to keep expounding if you don't have it. Sometimes you have it, there's more there, but sometimes it's nice to just do short stuff. I mean, I don't know. I always figured my audience was on the toilet reading, because it wasn't like a novel that you'd sit in a book in a chair and read necessarily,
Right. I think that it's also great because that's the sketches go too long, right? So if like a chapter goes too long,
Right.
That's brutal. Let's do another. You want to do another break?
Sure.
All right.
All right. Yeah, I downloaded, it turns out I had Final Draft. I had 8 on my one of my hard drives.
Nice.
I have a laptop from 2011 and Apple won't even take it as a refurb. They're just like, I can't believe it's still working. So I was eligible to get Final Draft 11 for like $79. So I got that. So I
Okay.
downloaded it. So that's half of writing a pilot, Jackie, is downloading Final Draft. I'm
It
almost
really
done.
is. It really is. And I read somebody was talking about what we should all be writing, and I guess, and I don't know if this is true. I'm sure any number of comics who are listening to this will know more about it than I do. Is that we shouldn't be writing specs? We should be writing original stuff.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, original. Yeah. I mean, write something, I don't know, like Dead to Me. I just was watching Dead to Me. I think I told you this last week too. It's so good. Like there's some sitcoms where you're like, oh, I wouldn't want to be in show business if I had to write on that show, right? I can't. And then you see a show, you're like, oh my God, it would be so fun to sit with whatever the brains are that came up with this, to sit with them and try to come up with ideas with them, you know?
Yeah.
And
That'd
then
be
I'm watching a
fun
lot
for-
of 30 Rock still. Oh, so funny. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So many jokes. And they do a joke and then they get out immediately. They don't linger. You know, some shows are like, did you see that joke?
Yeah.
Did you guys appreciate it? It was a good one. They just get the fuck out immediately, and you either got it or you didn't. If you were looking at your phone for that second, you missed it, and you'll get it on the next watch. But I love that. I love that confidence of, sorry, it's on you. It's totally on you.
It is our job. Right. It's how my preferred stand-up comedy, when people are like, well, you have to flesh that out. You have to explain who these people are. And I'm like, I'll consider it. How about that? Because I love not explaining a joke. I love everyone just kind of, I don't know, just sort of getting it. And it's not,
if you've given them all the pieces, and you have to double check that you've given them all the tools they need to get the joke and put it all together.
Yeah.
Then I'm fine. Stand your ground.
Yeah, exactly. And if it's a weird, obscure reference, I'll give it another line. I'll give it another beat, you know, just to say, because like the Schrodinger's cat thing, they just need to be vaguely reminded of what the hell that was.
Right. Yes.
And then they're like, oh, right. Okay. And plus, there's at least 4 people doing Schrodinger's cat references right now that I can't believe. I'm like, oh, all right. I guess we're all thinking about that cat in that fucking box, which it wasn't actually in that box ever. Just so you know, it was a theory. He didn't kill a cat for the theory.
That reminds
I'm sure
me.
he killed a lot of mice. What does it remind you?
Oh, Carmen sent me a recording, which I didn't listen to, of it. We have a similar premise, but they go in very different directions. But I think I dropped mine. So that was nice of her to go, is this too close to yours? But I think, I don't know. It was fine. And I might not be pursuing mine anyway.
Right. Carmen Morales, total pro.
Yes.
Very sweet. Yeah. So did you get to work on your new bits?
Yeah. I mean, I think I got a good joke out of tonight. That's keepable. And then another, where I trapped a squirrel in a tree, but it got away. But I followed the scent, and we'll see what happens. I'll just work it out. But I kind of wanted to try it because there are weeks where I don't have that many sets and I get really depressed. And like you said, it's like, after I do a set, just even the tiniest set, I feel so much better, and I forget that,
Yeah.
So
even a comedy hang, kind of a comedy Zoom can help. But what we did the other day, Kira came in hot, did about 5 minutes and then got out. She essentially, was not exactly a social event. Just came in and worked on 5 minutes.
I think she tricked us into listening to premises. Yeah, I think she did.
It was funny, her and Winter talking about, and Carmen, I think there was a lot of discussion about what you didn't have to do for Zoom shows, because they were all working different corporates.
Yeah.
And what, one of them, how clean your hair is, putting makeup on a dirty face, somebody said.
That was Winter. Clean hair was Kira. Yeah, I remember all these. Yes.
I was like, all right. Noted.
Yeah, no one can tell. I mean, I feel like shit if I feel dirty, but no one can tell on Zoom.
No.
I mean,
No,
all your efforts to look good go nowhere. So you might as well look like shit. That's my theory on Zoom.
I like that you can touch up your appearance. I assume that there'll be one where it's just a face, or it just takes all your
features off. I'm tired. It's like 11:05. You fell asleep.
Fix it. Make it end. Where are we at?
5 more minutes.
Oh my God. My God.
Where's my notebook? Anything.
I
I seem to have left it somewhere safe.
There's a new comedy special on Netflix.
Good to hear it. This is so great. I'm so happy for them. Who is it?
Oh, it's a guy who does really well.
Someone I've never heard of, or?
His name's Andrew Schultz, and
that's right. I
seen
have
it.
not heard him.
What?
I have not heard him.
I haven't seen it. I've just read there's a lot of, might be a Wuhan flu type of take on COVID. Just like, okay.
Ooh.
What did he do?
Hey, what?
Wait.
A little bit of a slightly anti-Asian take on COVID, etc.
That sounds like great writing. Anyway.
Well, it's just, I mean, who could do, everyone does with it, whatever they're going to do, and their audience is going to like it and stuff. But it just like, wow, Jackie, what are you, like a 1992 headliner? You're doing the jerk off motion with your hand? Come on.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I learned it from a 1992 headliner.
But I just wish that there were a lot more other comics getting specials. Just like, investigate a little bit. It doesn't,
Yep.
Literally why I started my label. That is why I did it.
Yeah. Which is called Rad.
If only you had 8 billion subscribers.
Be great. If anybody knows how to make that happen, I am available.
My show on Sunday, which will be over, but I got a couple comics I've worked with on the Zoom, and then Aaron Jackson and Jared Logan are going to do.
That sounds very fun.
That'll be fun. I'm wondering what they got to talk about. What's happening?
I called my little Patreon show No Promises.
Yeah.
So maybe it could turn into a show where people just do 5 minutes of new shit, and everyone has lowered expectations going in if they want to watch it.
Yeah. Turns out.
Yeah. We need those.
Teeny tiny sets.
Minute and a half.
Yeah, 5 max. Who has more than 5 of new stuff? New stuff.
Brand new stuff. Yeah, that's how long those set list sets should have lasted. I mean, the people that just stood up there for 12 minutes kind of meandering around, you're like, no, just try to get there and get out. And if you
what set list sets?
It's this, remember set list with
Provenza's show.
Yeah, but they gave you topics. That wasn't people doing new stuff.
But it was supposed to be brand new.
They were the topics.
The sets were long. They give you 12 minutes for 3 premises. No one needs
that. You're saying the comics didn't know when to get out of their topic that they were assigned? Yes, that's very true. That's very true. But you want that big laugh. And the longer you take to get to it, the bigger the laugh.
Well, that actually doesn't quite work like that, but hilarious. I think we're done.
All right.
I feel
Give or
that.
take 30 seconds. I'm all for it.
Yeah.